Good afternoon. See, we'll see a new topic for reorganization of linguistic states. Just दो ही है ना कि नो रशिया हो गए, भूटान हो गए, नेपाल ही बचे। हाँ, वो श्रीलंका बाद में 1970s और 80s में आएगा, तो that will see as a separate. That I will discuss. Only these two are left, but I will give notes for that. Okay, so if it is not if it's not clear for you, then I will discuss, no issue. So today we'll start with the next topic, that is reorganization of linguistic states. What is this reorganization of? What is it? What do you mean by linguistic states? States which are created on the basis of language. States created on basis of language. See, currently, like in today's context, do we have states created on the basis of language basis? Created on the basis of language? Give me some examples. Telangana is not created on the basis of language. Andhra, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Maharashtra. Okay. Maharashtra existed earlier as Bombay, but yes, Maharashtra was also linguistic based only because Gujarat was separated from Maharashtra. Kerala, Odisha. In fact, Odisha was the first state to be created on the basis of language in India. Odisha. Odisha or Andhra? Orissa. Pre-independent India, Orissa. Independent India, Andhra. If you take independent India, that means post 1947, it should be Andhra, 1953, which was formed. If you talk about British India, it was Orissa, 1936. Got it? So, see, what is this reorganization of linguistic states? Basically, after independence, there were many states either demanded for creation or reorganization. So many states demanded for, so here I will write reorganization, demanded for reorganization of them on language basis. After independence, I'm talking about after independence. Give me some examples after independence. Here. 1960. Huh? Huh? Gujarat separated away from Bombay because what speaking people? Gujarati speaking people. So they demanded for the separation, and they got separated as a separate state in 1960, where Gujarat was formed as a Gujarat speaking province. Similarly, 1966, ये भी लैंग्वेज बेसिस पे, Haryana, Ashu. Haryana, that is Hindi speaking people, wanted to get separated away from Punjabi speaking people of Punjab. So in 1966, under Shah Commission recommendations, so Haryana was separated as a Hindi speaking area, where Punjab was retained as a Punjabi speaking area, right? So like this, so there were many states which were formed on the basis of language. But see, we are talking about after independence. So these are the examples after independence. But this agitation or this demand of what? Creation of linguistic provinces. This demand was started after independence or before independence? Before. When? Tell me, who was the earliest leader to propose creation of linguistic provinces? Huh? Huh? Leader. Which leader? Which freedom fighter? Which freedom fighter or leader from Indian national movement proposed creation of linguistic provinces? Balagangadhar Tilak. It was Balagangadhar Tilak. So that is before independence, Tilak advocated for creation of provinces on linguistic basis. In 1891, he highlighted this in his journal Kesari, in his newspaper Kesari. So in Kesari, he wrote series of articles on demanding creation of linguistic provinces. Creation of linguistic provinces, provinces on linguistic basis. Sorry, provinces on linguistic basis, right? So perhaps he was the first leader who pitched the idea of linguistic provinces before independence. That is, he put this demand before the British government. Okay. So that is about Tilak. And why he demanded for that, or why he proposed that? Because homogeneity. That if people speaking same language, if they were grouped together and created as a province, so it promotes what? Homogeneity. Promotes homogeneity. So with this, he proposed about creation of linguistic provinces. But Yes, as a leader, it was Tilak first. As a leader, it was the Tilak who first proposed it. But as a movement, when it started or where it started, it started in Orissa. Started in Orissa as early as 1895. As early as 1895, this movement started in Orissa. Because earlier Orissa was part of Bengal. Orissa was part of what? Bengal. So Orissa formed in 1936. Before that, it was part of you should answer this. Bihar and Orissa. Bihar and Orissa province, which was created in after exactly. मतलब कौन सी year? In 1912, partition of Bengal was annulled. मतलब दोनों दोबारा merge करके, then they brought some changes in Bengal. What was the major change? The Bihar and Orissa areas were separated away from Bengal and created as a province. So that's what we call it as Bihar and Orissa. So since then, since 1912, Orissa wanted to separate from Bihar. Earlier they wanted to separate from Bengal, but after 1912 they wanted to separate from Bihar. So finally in 1936, Orissa was separated from Bihar as a separate province. Got it? So apart from Orissa, where it started, apart from Orissa, where it started? Apart from Orissa, where it started? Apart from Orissa, it started Bengal. Bengal तो Bengal already है ना, तो फिर movement क्यों start होगा? Bengal already is one of the oldest province, no? Then why there will be a movement? Where it started? Madras. It was started in Madras. What is this Madras? Madras consists of Tamil speaking and Telugu speaking population. So, but what happened? What is the case of Madras? Tamil speaking population and Telugu speaking population. So almost they were equal. Almost they were equal. So nearly 55% of population was Tamil speaking, where 45% of population was Telugu speaking. It was almost half. And nearly more than 50% of areas of Madras were Telugu speaking areas. And rest were Tamil speaking areas, area wise. right? So area wise, who had more land? Telugu speaking. Population wise, there were also Telugu speaking people also almost half. You got it? So, but still, when it comes to political representation, Telugu speaking people were not given much significance. Understood? So, when it comes to political representation and other aspects, so Tamil speaking people dominated the politics. So, this leads to what? This leads to agitation. So, these Telugu speaking leaders decided to fight for formation of a separate province. So these Telugu speaking leaders, like especially two newspapers played a major role here. One is Andhra Patrika and the other is Krishna Patrika. Right? So these leaders, through these newspapers, advocated for creation of, or demanded for separation from Madras. That they wanted to have an independent state separating them from Madras. So this movement, like it was right from early 1900s, this movement got started. Okay, so later this movement picked up its pace by 1906-07, and now these leaders wanted to fight politically. So they began organizing Andhra Mahasabha. So these Andhra Mahasabhas were annually conducted in different locations of Telugu speaking areas, where these Telugu speaking leaders had met and discussed upon the possibilities of, or the demands of, a separate linguistic province, that is separating away from Madras, right? So, and these leaders under Andhra Mahasabha, so even they see, most of these leaders are Congress leaders only. Again, these leaders are Congress leaders. So they invited various Congress personalities to these Andhra Mahasabhas to address their issues, right? And they also gave many petitions to British. So the many petitions were given to British, right? Now tell me, after these agitations were going on, demanding for separation of Telugu speaking areas from Madras, that is Tamil speaking areas. So does any leader, either from Congress or any other party, address the issues of these Andhra leaders? Who? Earlier I mentioned who was the first personality? Tilak. Now we are in 1910s. Let us say 1910s. So tell me, who advocated for linguistic provinces here in 1910s? Okay. Out. हाँ हाँ हाँ, वो तो है ही नहीं. He was not even a prominent leader by then. Annie Besant. So now joining Annie Besant and Tilak, what you will remember? Huh? Home rule movement. Exactly. That's the answer actually. Earlier we have discussed home rule movement. Huh? सारा किसको किसके लिए क्यों नहीं 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 ठीक है वो लिंग्विस्टिक मूवमेंट नहीं पढ़ाया इंडिपेंडेंस के टाइम पे बट इंडिपेंडेंस के टाइम पे होम रूल मूवमेंट पढ़ाया ठीक है वो बताओ होम रूल मूवमेंट का डिमांड्स क्या है ऑब्जेक्टिव्स क्या है what are the key objectives of home rule movement led by Besant and Tilak? You also this is history only, no? No? Huh? See, major demands, major objectives of home rule league is what? Attainment of Swaraj. That is dominion status. Creation of linguistic provinces. ये आंसर बोल के मैंने क्वेश्चन पूछा एक्चुअली. Creation of linguistic provinces. Popularization of concept of Swaraj. Organization of home rule leagues across the country to propagate or to to make the people politically conscious, to organize libraries, to organize public meetings, to distribute pamphlets, newspapers, journals, everything to promote Swaraj. So these are the objectives. So one of those objectives was creation of linguistic provinces. That's what here. So home rule movement in 1916 took the demand of creation of linguistic provinces. See, this demand was where at that point of time? It was in South. It was in South. So in South, it was the demand was intense, right? Particularly by Andhra people, particularly by Telugu-speaking people who wanted to separate away from Madras. So as we get back to Home Rule League, Annie Besant's branch of Home Rule League was more successful where in North or South? South. So that's why she will pick up the regional issue. Regional issue. So that's why, because of that also, she became much popular in South. She became much popular in South. Right. So, Home Rule League or Home Rule movement took up the demand of, that is, in fact, for the first time, on larger scale, the concept of creation of linguistic provinces was taken up. On larger scale, as a movement, that is Home Rule movement, or Home Rule movements, one of its objectives was creation of linguistic provinces. Now this demand from Telugu-speaking people becomes more intense. becomes more intense. So, and they always try to put pressure on Congress. The Congress leaders from Andhra region, not Andhra at that time, Congress leaders from Telugu speaking areas of Madras, they started to put pressure on the Central Congress Committee. So, finally, did Congress accept it? Accepted. See, what's the demand? They demanded for the Provincial Congress Committee. Yes, out of this demand of creation of linguistic provinces only. So, they demanded for Provincial Congress Committee. So, in that context, in 1917, Andhra Provincial Congress Committee was created, was formed. So, the first Provincial Congress Committee was Andhra. First Provincial Congress Committee was Andhra, right? And these Andhra leaders also gave continuous representations to British, and because British was about to release or bring some reforms in the administration, so those reforms were reflected in the form of Government of India Act, huh? 1919. Government of India Act 1919. So, but under these Government of India Act 1919 reforms, did the British government accepted creation of linguistic provinces? No. If it was created, Andhra would have been created then only. So why you are waiting for answer? No. The Government of India Act 1919 did not accept it. They did not accept it. So that means the aspirations of the Telugu people fulfilled or did not fulfilled? Did not fulfilled. So they continue their agitation. But what happened 1919 ke baad? What happened to India? Moments. Which moment? Huh? Huh? I don't know. What is that? Non-cooperation. Oh yeah. Non-cooperation movement was started. So obviously when non-cooperation movement was started, these leaders, these Andhra leaders, Telugu leaders who are fighting for this demand of creation of linguistic provinces, so they also participated in non-cooperation. So non-cooperation movement is a national issue demanding for Swaraj. Linguistic province, demand of linguistic province is a local issue. So obviously what will happen during this time, the local issue got or took backseat. It took backseat. So even these leaders from Andhra region also participated in non-cooperation movement. So everything, politics got changed. From 1919 to 1922, what happened? So everyone was busy with non-cooperation movement. Everyone was busy with non-cooperation movement. So this Telugu issue took backseat, right? But here again, if you remember our discussion of non-cooperation movement, during non-cooperation movement, Congress also brought some internal reforms, right? I discussed that at that time. Congress also introduced some internal reforms. That is, subscription base was expanded and Congress working committee was created with a 15-member body and Pradesh Congress committees were set up. Pradesh Congress committees were also set up. So actually, what was the first Pradesh Congress committee? Andhra. In 1917, when Andhra Pradesh Congress committee was set up, or Andhra PCC was set up, such kind of demand will come from many other states also, that they also wanted this kind of provincial Congress committee. So that demand, due to such demand, so in 1919 Congress decided to set up provincial Congress committees in various provinces, mostly on the basis of language. Mostly on the basis of language. So that indicates what? Congress indirectly accepted or officially taken the issue of creation of linguistic provinces. Creation of linguistic provinces, right? So, but during this time, Congress was busy in non-cooperation movement. But after non-cooperation movement, after the Chauri Chaura incident, so Gandhi was arrested, many leaders were in jail. So there was no national movement carried by any particular leader, and there was split in Congress, that is Swaraj Party was formed. So it was a period of political instability, let us say, political instability. So during this time, the Andhra leaders continued their agitation, and again they continued to give representations to the British government. But finally, what happened? They also gave representations to Simon Commission. Simon Commission is, purpose of Simon Commission is what? That is to address various issues of India. So when Simon Commission toured across the country, when they went to Andhra region also, that is, when they went to Madras also, many Telugu speaking people gave representations to Simon Commission, demanding for creation of linguistic province or separating Telugu people from Madras. So, and let's keep that aside. During this time, as we discussed, when Indians were, especially Congress was rejecting Simon Commission, the Secretary of State, Lord Birkenhead, challenged Congress to come up with a draft constitution, and the challenge was accepted by Congress, and Congress set up a committee under the chairmanship of Nehru. Which Nehru? Motilal Nehru. And that committee gave a report, we call it as Nehru report. So now tell me, is this principle of creation of linguistic provinces was mentioned in Nehru report or not? No. Not sure. No. Huh? Yes. Nehru report consists of creation of linguistic provinces. That means Congress accepted officially that it is supporting creation of linguistic provinces. Okay. Conveniently you are saying no. Because yes, Motilal Nehru also recommended for creation of linguistic provinces. But what happened? Simon Commission rejected this. Nehru report accepted, but Simon Commission rejected. So if Simon Commission rejected, obviously it will not fulfill. Even Congress accept or not, but government is not Congress, no, government is British. So they should accept, but they did not accept it. So since Simon Commission did not accept it, Do we have any creation of linguistic provinces in Government of India 1935? No. इसके बाद entire Nehru report was rejected. Entire Nehru report was rejected. So, what was the condition to accept? It must be acceptable to all sections of Indian population. But Muslim League and Congress were not on same terms regarding Nehru report. No? So it was not even taken into consideration. Not even taken into consideration. Okay. So Simon Commission rejected it. Simon Commission also rejected it. So, but later, due to the increasing agitation by Orissa people to get separated from Bihar, in 1936, Orissa was formed. No, iske baad. Right? So, coming to 1940s, again in 1940s, the entire country was busy with various movements. 1939 World War II broke out. 1940 August offer, 1941 individual satyagraha issue. 1942 Quit India movement. 1944 protest regarding Red Fort trials. 1945 Indian naval mutiny. Right. So continuously, these 5 to 6 years was a period of political instability, or Indian national movement was at its peak. Right. So finally, independence was granted in 1947, and from 1947 to 1950, it was the period of drafting constitution by Constituent Assembly. Constituent Assembly. So in this Constituent Assembly, again, there were discussions on creation of linguistic provinces. Discussions on creation of linguistic. So in this, did Congress accept it or reject it? So Congress leaders or the members of this Constituent Assembly, what did they do? Did they accept it? Especially Congress only. It was led by Congress. Accepted or rejected linguistic provinces? Accepted. They were accepted. Even Nehru have positively reacted towards creation of linguistic provinces. So, but by 1950, that is commencement of constitution. So in the constitution, do we have any linguistic province added? तो already है ना? There was already a province newly. No. So constitution, I'm talking about what? That does the original constitution have mentioned about Andhra as a separate province? No. So that means no, right? Why? In Constituent Assembly discussions, the leaders, especially leaders like Nehru, were proactively reacted to creation of linguistic provinces. Then why did the original constitution did not consist of Andhra? Because even though he was in favor of that, he was not willing to create. Why? Because already the country was going through instability due to what? Not only that, communal rights. Communal rights. How communal rights are related to here? Because already the country was divided. So divided on religious basis. And now the people of this division, people which was separated because of this division, were fighting together, fighting each other, and that caused communal rights on both sides of the border, right? So that affects India's unity and integrity. So during that time, can the central government take a risk of another separation, whether it is based on religion or language? Separation is separation. So they did not wanted to take up this task of separation of areas on the basis of language. They felt that it is not the time because it may erupt various or new challenges internally. Got it? So that's why, though it was on paper, though it was on surface level accepted in the Constituent Assembly discussions, but when it comes to practice, it was not implemented. So Constitution have created 4 types of states. Section A, B, C, and D. Right? A consists of 9 states, B consists of 8 states, C consists of 10 states, and D consists of Andaman Nicobar. So D consists of Andaman Nicobar, C consists of princely states which are already integrated. So these were reorganized, integrated, and reorganized. So and B consists of these earlier princely states only. These were integrated into India, and they were provided with there will be one president along with a legislature. President, and this president is called as Pramukh. Along with legislature. So states like Hyderabad, Jammu Kashmir, Madhya Bharat, right? So these are all states which are formed as part of B. Whereas C consists of states like Bikaner, Bilaspur, Bhopal, Coorg, right? So these are all under C. D consists of Andaman and Nicobar. Whereas A consists of, these states: Punjab. Which Punjab? East Punjab. West Bengal, Bombay, Madras, Orissa, Bihar, Assam, United Provinces, Central Provinces. 9. What are those 9? Punjab, West Bengal, Bombay, Madras, Orissa, Bihar, Assam, United Provinces, and Central Provinces. Right? So, in this, there is no Andhra. Here also or here also. Andhra was not mentioned. So, this is original constitution. So, what will happen? Agitations occur. But even before that, even before 1948, so there was continuous agitation. There was continuous agitation and demand from Telugu leaders of Madras who wanted to separate away from Madras. Okay. So in 1948, due to such demand from that region, the government appointed . Dhar Commission. The government appointed Dhar Commission under a retired judge, S.K. Dhar. S.K. So this commission is called as Linguistic Provinces Commission. Okay. So this commission, what's the recommendation of this commission? Accepted the creation of linguistic provinces or rejected the creation of linguistic provinces? Good. Accepted or rejected? Rejected. Correct. So this commission rejected the demand. What demand? Creation of linguistic provinces. So, did the aspirations of Telugu people fulfilled? No. So, what will happen? Agitation stop or continue? Continue. So, agitations continue. So, due to increasing pressure from the leaders from that region, Nehru appointed a committee. So that committee is called as Linguistic Provinces Committee, or we can also call it as JVP Committee. J means Jawaharlal Nehru, B means Vallabhbhai Patel, P means Patabi. J, the Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru. V, Vallabhbhai Patel, that is Home Minister. P, Patabi, another prominent Congress leader from Andhra region. So Congress leader from, at that time there was no Andhra, but here I am mentioning as Andhra region. Right? So, and he was an MP also. So, Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel and Patabi formed into a committee called JVP Committee, or Linguistic Provinces Committee. So, what happened to this committee? Whether this committee accepted the creation of linguistic provinces or rejected? Accepted? Rejected. This committee also rejected the creation of linguistic provinces. The commission rejected, JVP committee also rejected. So now what will happen to, so obviously, now what will happen to these Telugu people? Will they get hurted? Their long-standing demand, from how long they are demanding? Since how long they are demanding? Almost for last 50 years. They were demanding for last 50 years. So which was not fulfilled. So finally, after this committee's rejection, prominent leader from Telugu fraternity, a Gandhian follower, Potti Sriramulu, went for, so he used the same weapon of Gandhi, that is Satyagraha, which also includes fast unto death. So he went on for fast unto death, and he became a martyr after 56-day fast. The second longest fast unto death in India. तो फर्स्ट क्या होगा? हाँ? Anna Hazare died of fasting. Did he die? Is he alive now? So that's why all of a sudden you are saying when did he? No. So first one was Jatin Das. First one was Jatin Das. Who? Huh? South nahi. He was one of the cellmate, jailmate of Bhagat Singh Rajguru us time pe. So he went on to fast unto death in jail, demanding for improving the conditions of jails under British. Okay, so that was, so second fastest was Potti Sriramulu. So Potti Sriramulu became a martyr after 56 days fast unto death. So what will happen after his death? After his death, huge protest broke out in Madras. Broke out in Madras. So this led to violence as well. This led to violence. So finally, so as these protests were broke out and violence occurred, and which is becoming uncontrollable, so finally Jawaharlal Nehru, the then Prime Minister, accepted the demand of separation of Telugu-speaking people or Telugu-speaking areas from Madras province, and that was created as the first linguistic province in independent India, and that was called as wrong. What did you say? No, wrong. Andhra. Andhra state. Andhra Pradesh, 1956. हाँ? कौन सी कमेटी के बाद? States Reorganization Committee, Fazal Ali Commission. उसके बाद again reorganize किया ना? So then it was, then Hyderabad state was merged into Andhra. So Hyderabad merged into Andhra and it became Andhra Pradesh. But at this point of time, it was Andhra. Okay. So Andhra state was formed as a first linguistic province in independent India in 1953. So now, what will happen? Will it have domino effect? Will it have domino effect? So domino effect started. That means domino effect means what? Priya? Similar kind of demand will be started by other regions. So it started demanding for Kerala, started demanding for Samyukta Maharashtra, and demanded for Karnataka. Similar kind of movement started in this region. So not only this, but also in Punjab also, right? So due to these, as these movements started to erupt from different regions, the government decided to appoint a commission. So the government appointed a commission that was States Reorganization Commission and a retired judge Fazal Ali. Along with Fazal Ali, M. Panikkar. So Fazal Ali along with Hassan Kunzru and Panikkar. So with these three members, the government of India appointed SRC 1955. 1950, and it gave its report in 1956. And on the basis of this report, the government have enacted States Reorganization Act 1956. States Reorganization Act 1956. So they have given away with that 4 types of states, and these were all again reorganized into. So under this SRC 1950 SRC Act, it had created 14 states and 6 union territories. So they have given away with the earlier system of grouping of states into 4 parts: Group A, Group B, Group C, Group D. But now they were all reorganized into 14 states and 6 union territories. Now still today we are following the same trend, having states and UTs. Okay. So in this way, the State Reorganization Commission was created. And now what will happen? Similar kinds of demands started in other parts also. So similarly, what happened? Gujarati people also demanded separating away from Bombay province, because Bombay is Marathi speaking population dominated one, where the Gujarati speaking population were or felt unrepresented or underrepresented. So they wanted to separate. So finally in 1960, Gujarat was created as a separate province. Similarly, Punjab, Hindi speaking people, that is Haryana, wanted to separate away from Punjab. So in 1966, Haryana was formed. And in fact, during the same time, the hilly region, hilly population were also separated from Punjab area, and that was formed as Himachal Pradesh as a union territory. So this Himachal Pradesh in 1971 got the statehood status. Right? So later on, so reorganizations, these demands continued, but not always. In fact, we have in 1987 we have SRC. In 2000 we have SRC. In 2014 we have SRC. In 2020 we have SRC. In 1987, reorganization of Northeast. Reorganization of Northeast. In 2000, separation of Uttarakhand from Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand from Bihar, Chhattisgarh from Madhya Pradesh. 2014, Telangana from Andhra Pradesh. 2019, Jammu Kashmir. Article 370. Right? So this is the way how linguistic states were reorganized on the basis of language. Got it? So this is linguistic reorganization of states. You got it? So now tell me, the question is, critically examine the concept of creation of states on language basis. Critically examine the concept of creation of states on language basis. 15 marker. Okay. तो होमोजेनिटी में हाँ, बट एक चीज बोल सकता हूँ, एक है कल्चरल होमोजेनिटी, रिलीजियस सॉरी एंड लिंग्विस्टिक होमोजेनिटी, एंड एंड answer, this is your question. You have to find at least 20 points, no? 15 marker. At least 15 points. Hmm? Hmm. And hmm. Okay. Better political representation. Hmm. And seats in the parliament. Hmm. Fulfillment of regional aspirations. Hmm. Promotion of economic development. Hmm. Huh? Less chance of violence कहाँ से आ रहा है? That means you mean to say that if states were not created, that they go for violence, protest, right? Less chance of agitation. Reason क्या है? Yes, okay, fine. Let us assume that there is less chance. But what reason? Earlier they are fighting on what reason? Hmm. Instead of using the violence, you can say less conflicts, at least. Negatives? Possible, no? First thing. Fear of If linguistic province is created, how this their identity will be taken by others? How? I didn't understand. तो फिर ये फीलिंग होगा, हाँ ऑब्वियसली, हाँ. So identity loss. Negatives? Huh? Separation what? Okay. Huh. Hmm. It will strengthen sons of soil doctrine. It will strengthen regionalism. Strengthen regionalism. It is threat to India's unity and integrity. Right? Hmm. If that is the question given, then certainly you have to generate 15 to 20 points, writing 15 marker. Okay. So you should write proper way. Right? So creation of reorganization of linguistic states. Write down. Write the notes. Put the heading reorganization of linguistic states. Before independence, and after independence, before and after independence, comma, many states demanded for creation of faculties. Hmm? Not by student. If student why it will be here. If it is student, they won't eat here. Is the faculty only. Some serious. Both reforms. Before and after independence, many provinces, many demanded for creation of demanded for separate provinces based on language. Before independence. Independence. Huh? Hmm? Original name of? Original name? MCQ. Hmm. मतलब टाइम पीरियड बताओ, टाइम पीरियड चाहिए ना, अभी तो यही बताया ना 1936 के पहले 1936 के बाद, कहा कौन से? So question is vague, पीरियड चाहिए ना, बिहार टुडे और बिहार बिफोर 1947 और बिहार बिफोर 1936 और बिहार बिफोर 1912, up to 1912 it was Bengal Legislative Council, it was Bengal Legislative Council. 1912 के बाद बिहार एंड जनरल एटलीस्ट उस टाइम पे लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल से ना एटलीस्ट वी कैन से 1937 इलेक्शंस टाइम पे और बिफोर दैट बिहार एंड उड़ीसा. 1937 इलेक्शंस के बाद इट वाज बिहार लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल, बिहार प्रोविंशियल लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल. बट इट्स दिस क्वेश्चन इज वेग ना, टाइम पीरियड मस्ट बी बिहार लेजिस्लेटिव आज भी हो सकते हैं. नो, बिहार लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली. गुड. अच्छा, it was only Bihar. So, according 1970, as I mentioned, Bihar Orissa Legislative Council. That could also be answer. 1912 वो भी, 1936 when Orissa was separated. Hmm? That did not happen with any such kind of state except Tamil Nadu, no? Except, but the question is what? Linguistic, no? If it is normal reorganization of states, then you can say that. But the question what I asked specific to linguistic. So in such cases, that did not occur. Only Tamil Nadu, where but that is not even now. It started in 1920s only. The Dravidian movement. E.V. Ramaswamy Naik, Periyar was the leader of that movement. Dravidian that got continued, and later post-independence they also demanded for separate statehood. The state was not province, separate nation, but not here. So only this example comes for Sovereign, not Nagaland, not Northeast. That is normal reorganization of states. Based on like tribal population, like economic development. इसका हिस्ट्री में नहीं, we don't discuss. We don't. Before independence. Before independence, before independence, Tilak was perhaps the first national leader to appreciate the diversity of languages and urged the Congress working in vernacular languages. He also advocated creation of linguistic provinces, in 1891. He published articles in Kesari regarding this. Regarding this. In 1916, Home Rule movement under Tilak and Annie Besant took the objective of creation of linguistic provinces. Creation of linguistic provinces. The first step towards this was the decision of All India Congress Committee of INC the decision of All India Congress Committee of INC in April 1917 to constitute a separate committee, to separate Congress Provincial Committee, called Andhra Provincial Congress Committee, Andhra Provincial Congress Committee. Formed out of Telugu speaking districts of Madras Presidency. This strengthened the argument of creation of linguistic provinces. Next, consensus was developed already among several Indian leaders. Consensus was developed already among several leaders. That, for effective administration, language of governance and education, should be the dominant language of the people. But Gandhi thought otherwise. When the proposal to reorganize linguistic provinces came up, he thought that the question might wait. The implementing of reforms Question might wait. The implementing of reforms initiated by the British. So he said that this issue might delay the other reforms. The first generation of freedom fighters realized the importance of linguistic states realized the importance of linguistic states. At the time of Bengal partition, the home rule movement also recognized the need for creation of linguistic provinces. The home rule movement also recognized the need for creation of linguistic provinces. On 8th April 1917, AICC demanded a Telugu-speaking state carved out of Madras Presidency. Also recommended, not recommended, demanded the Telugu-speaking state carved out of Madras Presidency. The home rule movement served as an important milestone in the reorganization of linguistically homogeneous areas. Linguistically homogeneous areas. Anna Besant said, put it in inverted commas, sooner or later, or jaldi, sooner or later, comma, preferably sooner, comma, provinces have to be re-delimited on linguistic basis. Subsequently, नहीं look, सेम तो कहानी हो गया बेंच पे लिखना है. Subsequently, in 1920 Nagpur session, the Congress accepted the principle of creation of linguistic states. The role of the Indian vernacular agitations was very well recognized, even in the earliest part of history of INC. History of in 1927, Congress again declared that it was committed to the redistribution of provinces on linguistic basis. The Nehru Report of 1928 for the first time formally incorporated the demand of linguistic reorganization of the provinces. Linguistic reorganization of the provinces. However, the Simon Commission observed that in no put it in inverted commas. In no case the linguistic or racial principle can be accepted as the sole test. Linguistic or racial principle can be acted as the sole test. The criteria. Language or race cannot be criteria for creation of provinces. Orissa was the first Indian state formed on the language basis. First Indian state formed on language basis in 1936. Due to the efforts of Madhusudan Das. Madhusudan Das. In Orissa, the linguistic movement started in 1895. The linguistic movement started in 1895 and intensified over the years. With the demand of separation from Bihar and Orissa province. Bihar and Orissa province. Huh? No. 1936 already Bihar and Orissa separated from Bengal. No? Now Orissa wanted to separate from Bihar and Orissa. Meanwhile, at the ground level, aspirations for such states within India caught people's imagination. The Congress also adopted creation of linguistic provinces in its election manifesto during 1945 elections. By November 1947, Prime Minister Nehru, on behalf of Government of India, under on behalf of Government of India, asserted the principle of linguistic provinces. Next. After independence, not go or don't. However, after independence, partition led to fear of further division, on the basis of language, and many leaders changed their views regarding language-based states. After independence. After independence. After independence. Huh? Tomorrow. Hmm. So we'll continue tomorrow. So after independence, we'll continue tomorrow. Then. Critical examine. So critically examine creation of linguistic provinces. So what we have to write? We have to write both pros and cons of creation of linguistic provinces. Simple. Positives. Simple terms में बताऊँ. Pros. Right. It fulfill the regional aspirations of. It fulfill the regional aspirations of people. It recognizes linguistic identity. It recognizes the linguistic identity. It promotes the political representation. It promotes the political representation of underrepresented areas or languages. Areas or languages. It promotes so obviously separate state, so it will be promotes economic development. It promotes economic development. I'm not elaborating, I'm simply saying, okay, we can elaborate each point also. It strengthens democracy. It strengthens democracy. You're giving voice to the people, no? The democracy is about voice to the people. Better administration. Better administration. Why better administration? Because of better communication. Same language. Better administration due to communication in the same language. Development of education in mother tongue. Preserves language and its culture. Strengthens strengthens the principle of unity and diversity. Okay. Strengthens the principle of unity and diversity. Reduce the litigations. Litigation. If you're not provided in this, you will go to court. Reduce litigation. How will it burden on the judiciary? Economic development mentioned here. Political representation, cultural preservation, democracy, administrative efficiency like language, communication, educational development in mother tongue. How many? So these are pros, cons. increase regionalistic tendencies, promotes sons of soil doctrine, border disputes amongst the states, like water disputes. Domino effect on other states, and that may threaten national integrity. The domino effect. Linking to, you have to link 2 points. Okay. It may affect national integrity, may create economic imbalances. Bus sufficient for 15 marks. So you have to include introduction and conclusion also. In conclusion, give a suggestion note that you can also quote to the statement of Fazal Ali. One state, one language. One language, one state is restricted by them. So you can say that. Intro में yes, yes. But intro में but वो क्यों पूछ रहे वो just highlight करना है. That the regional, the aspirations of people for creation of linguistic states on language. So creation of linguistic states was an age-old demand since second half of 19th century. So you start with that line and understood no? Right. Thank you.